Hello everyone, and welcome to the first parting out video of 2022. Today we're looking at car number 196, which is a 1996 Mustang GT. So car number 196 has been here for a while. For example, here's our 97 Cobra, car 218. So this car's been here 30 cars ago, but it was not documented and inventoried because it's such a turd, for lack of a better explanation. It's rusted out, the engine is not hooked up and damaged, the interior's kind of been ravaged to some extent, and as soon as the car came in, I just put it in the middle of the salvage yard, knowing there was really no urgent need to get to this car. So first thing I want to show everybody is what's going on under the hood. There's a little too many valves here. Try and get the phone out of the wind the best that I can. But this car came in with a 4-valve engine under the hood, hooked up to an automatic transmission. So I'm not really sure what it is we've got here. Now what it looks to me like is somebody tried to pry the pulley off here on the power steering pump in an attempt to maybe get the accessories saved off of here, and bent the heck out of it. The timing cover has been snapped off. There's bolts. You can see even metal shavings here inside the crank pulley. So somebody that shouldn't have been working on this car was working on this car. And what it looks like they did here, I believe in an attempt to salvage their cylinder heads, because they are somewhat loose. It looks like they perforated this, just like a paper towel has dots on it, so you can snap the timing cover off. I mean, this car has really been not through hell and back. It's just been through hell. I see brackets that don't belong where they are, hoses for the AC that are cut. I mean, that just tells you what this car has been through and why I gave it that type of priority here as far as getting it documented and parted out. Now I have sold the rear axle, which is why I just dug her out. So the rear axle is sold and is going to be, come on phone, the rear axle sold is going to be pulled out today. It's April 23rd of 2022. So under the hood, maybe somebody knows what kind of heads those are. I've got a valve cover off to the side over there. I don't believe it's a Cobra engine. The cams were a little cleaner when it first came in, but with the way that this car has been just abused, misused, mistreated, I didn't really have any faith in much of any of this stuff here under the hood. But I will sell anything you're interested in an as-is type of situation. Looks to be an aluminum engine block. So the customer did say it ran like a bat out of hell. What kind of automatic transmission is in there? I don't know. I'll pull the stick since we're here. It does have a red color to it. How about that? Oh yeah, I'll try and drop some down here. I mean, actually the transmission fluid looks good. Has no distinct smell to it, so whatever transmission, and there's no cluster unfortunately with this car. I don't know what the reason for that is, but I don't have any idea of mileage on the engine, the transmission, or the rear end. There's a Hydro Boost brake system. Obviously, sorry about the noise. You know, some of these parts, hood hinges, hood brackets, the hood itself, even though it's damaged. If anybody sees anything that they might be needing from a 96 probably to 98 or so, I know there were some changes in like the 97 realm. But this is a 96 GT, so if you see anything you're interested in, the fuse box I just took a look at was there. These cruise control parts, that might still be in good shape. So it looks like it's been wrecked before with that being off-colored. And I don't recall if I even got a front bumper or the other fender with this car. You can tell how many miles it has on it when you drop a door, and it literally drops. I mean, that's 2 inches of almost drop on a passenger side. So who knows, the car might have 150,000 miles plus. It's really hard to tell. I did see a vendor pass to the Central Knife and Gun Show. I've got a registration here that I don't think will show the mileage. Nope, doesn't show the mileage. So, I mean, really, there's really no way to know. Tan interior with this window being broken out of it since the day it was picked up. You know, I'm sure there's probably some effect to the cloth, but actually they don't look terrible from this vantage point. The car came full of just engine parts and all kinds of junk anyway that I just pulled out of here. And I've also been using it for like storage, so if there's any other Sn95 interior parts, I see some hood vents there for a GT. I mean, anything. This was a 98 convertible, I believe, this red. So some of these parts are convertible parts. You know, just in case this car doesn't have everything you need. Maybe some of it's over there. Heater control, I don't recall if I ever got the radio with this car. It looks like the airbags haven't been blown. Which is surprising, showing that it looked like it had a front end accident in the past. There is an extra passenger side back window here, so full set of glass. I did notice that this is a defroster delete back window, which, you know, that is rare. I see it, actually it's got a Ford stamp on it. So interesting that it's a defroster delete rear glass. Looks like power options. Of course, I got the automatic pedal assembly, the shifter. The cable, I know I think it's the cable for this 4R70W is problematic, so I should have this cable for sure. You know, if you see anything you need, let me know. It's just a car. Full tan interior for power, hardtop, pretty much. I'll go ahead and open the trunk. It's funny, this door's not dropped as far as the other one. But I'll go ahead and open the trunk, and then I'll raise the car up so you can see what a catastrophe this thing is underneath. But, you know, A-pillar trim. Do we call this B or C pillar trim? Call it just rear sail panel trim. It's on Encore's website. You can buy both of these pieces in many of the different colors. Usually it's customer choiced first. If you say, hey, I need a red one, a green one, a black one, I'll try and find that first. But you'll always get the best quality part no matter what is in stock color-wise. So you can find 94 to 04 separate advertisements for those. Rear sail panel trim and A-pillar trim exterior. This looks like the seat belts. I mean, pretty much a complete car. Rear bumper's actually, as far as I know, in good shape. I think I did this morning with my boot. Yep. So Mustang GT rear bumper, and oh, I forgot to mention, it's got a Reese hitch on it as well. I don't know what it is with these Sn95s. It's like they have two keys to them usually, like one does the ignition, one does the doors and trunk or something. I only have the ignition key, so I had to take the lock out that way through the back seat. The floor is rotted back here. That hole's not supposed to be there, the one that looks outside, and obviously inside these rear frame rails here. I don't even have my light on, but you can still see how that ain't right. But you know, spare tire covers around. The interior carpety plastic things are here. This guy. I don't have listings for all these individual parts. Right now I'm just kind of going through this particular car for what it came in with. I'm sure there's a spare tire jack available online. They are different for the different years and how they install. Hey, the trunk shocks are working. That's a surprise. So wiring back here as well. You know, anything you might need for a 96, 7, 8, GT, maybe Cobra, same on some of these parts. That's going to be a very unique back window. But let me go ahead and get her up in the air. See if I can. So one thing that I didn't mention while it was down is these MagnaFlow exhaust tips. It's not just the tips, it's the whole cat back. So yesterday when I yanked this car out of the yard, I was actually using the hitch to drag this thing around, but I first did attempt to go underneath the backs, and I put a little scuff at the bottom of the muffler. Doesn't affect, I'm sure, the sound or the function or performance of it. I just put a little ding in it. I mean, with this being kind of oxidized and stuff anyway, you're probably not expecting perfect. but it is probably one of the most valuable pieces of this car. It's going to be this MagnaFlow exhaust, so I want to mention that. Now, I did say that I'm selling the rear end today, which if I didn't pull out today, was probably, like, I'm afraid to even be here like a mouse trap. Like, this torque box is just gone. So no matter what the car looked like on top, salvageability wise, like the quarter panels look good and the roof is straight, and yeah, it had tiny accident. I mean, there's a reason these cars come to Encore. This one had more wrong with it just then that it wasn't running. But so here's that little, I can't even feel that I dented it, but you could see that I just touched it. Maybe there's a little ripple right there, but real small. And I'm going to go ahead and say that was probably me as well. With I got the forks in and I saw that Reese hitch and I said, what the? Why did somebody put a hitch? Okay, so I backed out and then I grabbed it that way. So no other performance parts of mention. It's got factory cats, it looks like, on it. This transmission, unknown condition. You know, I don't know where this engine came from, that it's a 4-valve, probably a Lincoln. If it's the Aviator or the Mark 8, it's probably not a Mustang original engine. Some people watching this video probably know enough to have already said, oh, that oil pan's from a such and such, or that intake is from a such and such. I don't know the 4 valves enough to know what I'm looking at yet. I'm sure after some part number research and things like that, I'll be able to identify more, but come on, look at this, just broken, hackery. But, you know, I'm going to take care of it best I can and lay it to rest with some respect. I wouldn't recommend too many of these suspension parts other than like for rebuild purposes. I'm sure the sway bar is probably good as long as it's sitting in its bushing straight. Whenever a car's been wrecked in the front, if it tweaked on the frame rails or suspension, you'd be able to notice that the sway bar is out of center one way or the other. This one looks to be pretty good still. So I'm not selling any factory exhaust. As far as mid pipes go, I'll have a drive shaft, a 4R70W transmission, an unknown 4-valve aluminum block, short block, long block, however you want it. And again, this rear axle is sold, so just take... this is bad. This is... I mean, with the way steel prices are today, I should go get a bucket, start collecting this. Looks like park and brake cables were already cut. That's interesting. And there's a 308 rear end gear in here. I already did a little bit of a spin test on it. I figured there was a 308. Unfortunately, there was no door tag for me to give you guys the paint code, the interior code, or get that axle number. And I think I've already peeked under here that there's no factory tag that would have told us that it's a 308. But that sounds about right. This big, slow, heavy pig with an automatic behind it. 273 would be a waste of a lot of performance, you know, that the car would need. So 308 seems like the bare bones minimum to bring them off the assembly line with. Geez, is that really installed like that? Wow, I thought these were hanging down. No, somebody's got them installed that far below the bumper. I mean, yeah, it's torqued a little bit, but nope, that's, oh, this one pulled down. Wow. All right, well, with the wind, and everything that's going on, I do have a pickup scheduled for today on this one for the rear axle. I better get it down to a safe level, put a counterbalance back there for when I'm ready to pull the axle, and get some jack stands set up. So thanks everyone for your attention. Again, it's a 96 4-valve GT automatic, tan, full interior. Got the defrosterless back window. Got extra quarter window in the back seat, so it does have a full set of glass. Obviously not the only Sn95 parts car here. If you'd go ahead and subscribe to this channel, there are 2 more coming up that I'm not going to tease too much about, but they're hiding right back there. They are both V8 running driving cars. Those will be posted later in 2022 as their day of demise arrives. There's a video out there now on this Cobra and another Cobra if anybody was interested in those types of parts. But if you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, would you please? Again, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next cars and parts that I specifically want to showcase for you. And that's all for today. Thanks for your time.